Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
Good morning, neighbors. It is 8.5 minutes after the hour of 6 o'clock on this, the 7th day, 1 week gone already in the month of December. You know what that means? 18 days to Christmas, 25 days to the 123, 123. Yep, that's it. So good morning to you. Thank you so much. Of course, this morning it's the hours in. We just heard from Paul Richards. We'll hear from Richard Raghuparising. We got Ruben in the mix. And of course, my name is Steve Kine. Let's get straight into the WTs, see what's happening, weather and traffic-wise. Nothing really much to tell you about. School is pretty much closed for the Christmas vacation. Get on Valencia Stretch. You've got some there. On the Solo, your hotspot really is a little tip on the brakes after you pass Monroe Road, going to Trin City UE. Slow going, got some volume. And that's it. I'm being told there's one accident. It is westbound Churchill Roosevelt Highway after Aranguez and before El Sicoro. And it is, westbound. All right, let's get into the WTs. It is, the Ws. It is 25 degrees on both islands, Piarco International Airport and Crown Point in Tobago. What's your weather going to be like for today? Very cloudy and breezy conditions, accompanied by showers over a few areas, particularly during the morning. There's also the medium 40% chance of the heavier shower or thunderstorm. Gradual settling is expected as the day progresses, despite the lingering shower. All right, maximum forecast temperature for today, 30 at Piarco, 31 at Crown Point. Okay, and let's check some temps across our listenership. Toronto, you're sitting at 1 degree with flurries, with a weather advisory. Your flurries are expected to stop in 20 minutes. Miami, you're at 14 and cloudy. Orlando, 10 and cloudy. New York, cloudy at 0. It's 0 in New York. Just saying. Atlanta, you're also at 0. London, 7 and some cloud. Tampa, 8. Washington, D.C., also at 0. And our listener out in LA, it's 13 degrees. All right, so there you go, some temps across our listenership. And let's see who sent us hellos first thing this morning via YouTube and Facebook. We've got Rena Boodoo Jennings, Edwin Marshall, Oliver Warren, Wayne B. in Covington, Georgia, Carol Guevara, Marcia Rock, Ray out in West Palm Beach, Florida, Beefy Smith out in Goodwood, Tobago, good morning. Wendy and James out in San Juan, Dennis Basad, good morning to you. DL, good morning to you. DL says, you look cold as heck this morning, Paul. Slick Money Grip, good morning to you. All right. And of course, good morning to Dan Raj on WhatsApp at 318-1021. All right. So good morning to you, Paul. What's happening? It's cold where you are.
Good morning. It's 5 o'clock in the morning here, 5:12, so it's a little chilly, yes.
You only got like 3 hours sleep.
I wouldn't say that.
You're in Lyman.
No.
Written all over your face.
I'm too old to lime.
You're too old. Okay. I'd say if it's a lime where you are, then see if it's a lime here. Tell me that much.
Most of the time.
And you're really looking behind you, and
most of the
sure
time.
you can pull up by a friend and don't have to be worried.
Not everywhere.
Yeah, well, yeah. Not everywhere.
Not everywhere.
So morning to you.
Morning. But the front says they'll catch you if to do something most of the time.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. 6:12. 5:12 here.
Yeah, people ask, where is here, Paul?
Here's on Earth, planet Earth.
Richard's friends.
Here's on planet Earth. So good morning. What's happening? And I heard Trinidad was quite rainy yesterday.
Yeah, it was quite rainy and I got wet. I tried so hard not to get wet and I got wet. Coming over this horrible flu. Yeah. You know, I hope I don't get a relapse. Good morning to you, Mo Gaines. Richard Duku, good morning. Thank you so much for giving us a hit, both on YouTube and on Facebook.
What's happening in Trinidad and Tobago?
I was so busy yesterday, I didn't even follow what was going on. Good morning, Patos. Good morning, Brent Sylvester. Good morning, Pat. Patos, that's my friend, Patrick. I saw something where a 20 million judgment for the chaps in the Vindra Naipaul Coleman. Let's see if I can find it here.
Case was set aside.
Yeah, it was set aside. Let me see if I find it.
So I saw a press conference today to the General stating that the state had appealed and won the appeal to set aside the judgment in favor of one of the young men, two of the young men involved in that ongoing situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. That poor woman was brutally murdered, never found again.
Never. I mean,
somebody was going to get money for it.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. Calypso said the lawyers are what?
The lawyers are hee-haw.
The lawyers are hee-haw.
The lawyers are hee-haw.
I know. It's going to be a big hee-haw. Mm-hmm.
If it's not that, it is people from another country detained here getting millions of dollars. I don't know.
Well, not because detained here means that your human rights can be trampled. There are laws that govern how people should be treated. Even in war, there are laws and international conventions that dictate how prisoners of war should be treated. So,
yeah,
and as far as I can tell, no war here, or no war in Trinidad and Tobago. Let me put it that way. Anyway, Terry Rondon was laid to rest yesterday in Tunapuna.
Yesterday, yes.
But at the Tunapuna Church ceremony was attended by Acting Prime Minister Colin Imber and several other government personalities.
Mm-hmm.
He was hailed as a community hero, and they're of course considering naming a lot of stuff after him, which I do not give this tradition or convention in Trinidad and Tobago. They wait till you're there to name a sort of thing after you.
Yeah, boy. Always, huh?
It's just like it's so archaic.
Yeah, always.
So all the time you're alive and you've done the work, and so you don't think he wanted to see the appreciation while he was here. I mean, I'm sure he did at some level, but I mean, you wait till he dies to name this and name that and name this.
Name a school, name a hall, name a highway. If anybody knows what the score was yesterday, the West Indies and England, I don't know what it is. Yeah, so
they're proposing naming the Toko Regional Complex the Valencia to Toko Highway or the Matlot Community College after the late Terry Martin Terry Rondon.
Mm-hmm.
So why now?
Always, eh?
Because he died.
Always.
So he couldn't get that recognition while he was alive, and so he said, well, yes, somebody appreciate my work, my decades of work and community service.
Mm-hmm.
And me just being a good person. He was a good person from all accounts.
Yeah. Oh, he helped so many people. So many people he helped.
So I don't know. I'm always ambivalent to just name this after them and name that after them and name that after them after they gone. Because I mean, people have known about Terry Rondon's work for decades. So
yeah,
why now?
Yeah.
We see how it goes. May he rest in eternal peace.
Yeah, the few times that we interviewed him, it was always a good interview, and and saw him a couple of places. When I go to Grand Riviere, sometimes I'd see him once or twice, and I just go, Mr. Rondon, how are you? It's Steve Can. He goes, oh, Steve, how you going?
There's a video clip, and I think it's an old video clip showing. Is it Inspector Alexander? What's his designation? No, I really don't.
Oh yeah, yes, Senior Superintendent.
Senior Superintendent Alexander.
I just shook my head when you said that for me. No words. Talking
about why police don't use body cams consistently, and I sent it to several people, including people in the government. I said, this is why the police struggling in this country. When you have a senior officer like that talking that kind of foolishness, it kind of underscores all we've said for years, where they will make every excuse in the book not to use the body cams. You understand? And he was saying, and I'm paraphrasing here, and his co-host was Whitney Husbands, who was equally clueless, quite frankly. And talking about she was demonstrating how the body cam is easy to come off, how it shakes up. You understand? How it and Alexander was saying it's good for traffic cops, but not good for high stakes engagements because it's the wrong type and all kind of foolishness. I just like, and he's a senior officer. Has he gone on leave yet?
No, end of the year. He has 25 more days.
I just shook my head and I said, this is typical of why police struggle in this country. Because he said that, and I think it was from a May broadcast on TV6. That's why I can't play it back this morning, because we didn't get permission from TV6 to re-air the footage. Although we can in a news context.
We can want to give them credit for it.
Yeah. So it just underscored why the police struggle in this country and why they will use every excuse in the book, in my opinion, not to consistently wear those body cams. Good morning, Mr. Rockbosson.
Hi, good morning, Paul. Good morning, Steve. And good morning, John. Wherever you are. Yeah. Are you talking about that beyond the tape?
Somebody told me it was from yesterday, but I saw a May timestamp on it. If it was yesterday, even worse. If it was yesterday, it's even worse. But I would imagine, even if it was May, we've been talking about this body cam issue with the police for years. And I would imagine that whatever body cams they procured, and subsequent to all the furor that was raised for years, that they would have procured the right type of body cam. Not that I believe Alexander, that is foolishness, that is the wrong kind of body cam, because I just think he's, let me not see what I really want to see. He's just talking stupidness. You understand? And the body cams will fall off easy, and they will shake up in high stakes engagements, and they just go, look,
Yeah. And even and like watching, I saw the video that you're talking about, Paul, and I'm like, well, get the ones that don't fall off.
Richard Raghubarsingh.
It's like, what?
Richard Raghubarsingh. I don't think that one will fall off either.
Even if that was
a shoddy one. Foolishness.
If that was a shoddy one, I'm just saying, yeah, because I assume like body cams, like everything else, they're at different price points.
Yeah.
Get the ones that work. Don't make it seem like, well, all body cams are like this and all body cams are not suitable. So what happens in all of those high-stake police I'm talking from a North American point of view or European point of view, when they have police exercises and they have high-stake police exercises, they wear their body cams. So what they're using
You're taking on Alexander? Really?
What are they using? So to me, if that's not a suitable one for whatever exercise you're doing, get the right one.
That's it.
My point, guys, is that I don't. Let's look at the two scenarios. One, the body cam, the wrong type of body cam was ordered, which is egregious enough on its own.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay? Which is egregious enough on its own. After all the talk about body cams, well, they ordered the wrong type of body cam. Let's start with that and how bad that is, or how bad that could be. But even if the wrong type of body cam was ordered, you going on national TV and talking about is the wrong kind of body cam, what kind of message is sent to the criminal element? That we will not be recording any, or the wider population. That we can't wear it because it's the wrong type. So when recording it, we're not recording an engagement, despite the commentary from 3 commissioners of police. McDonald Jacob speaking to us, Gary Griffith, and earlier here with Christopher speaking to the GSC National Security that body cams are standard operating procedure. You have him on TV yesterday talking about his wrong type of, I mean, really? And the police hierarchy is endorsing that?
Yes.
Foolishness. No wonder they struggle.
Top to bottom.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Top to bottom.
The person sent it to me on WhatsApp. I'm not downloading it. So I'm trying to get it to be sent via e-transfer. So I could play it.
Yeah. Well, little birdie whispered to me when it comes to trading of the TTPS. I can't say anything, period. It was sworn to secrecy.
So why are you bringing it up?
It just entered my mind and I didn't think before I opened my mouth. There you go.
Wow. That's an odd occasion. That's an odd occurrence. That's never happened before.
Thanks for being so honest.
No, but it comes back because the individual knows when it comes to trading, I'm very critical about their trading. And it has something to do with their training. And
Steve Khan and Mr. Raghumasting, it is about poor leadership. That's all it's about.
Kill like any dog when it comes to TTPS.
It's about poor leadership. And it has always been the main problem with the police service. Poor leadership. And I may add, it continues today. Okay? So you go on a national TV and talking about the body cams are the wrong type. I'm paraphrasing here. And they could come off. And you have your co-host engaged in the foolishness too. Taking it off and the co-host have on bulletproof vest and what seemed to be a weapon at her side. I'm sure it was unloaded. And the body cam and trying to act auditing to make his point more poignant. I mean, really, what is the objective of that show? To undermine the work of the police service? That's the objective of the show? And create a cult hero? How long you have again before you go on leave?
25 days.
President Irfan Ali was in CNN last night. Guyana's President Irfan Ali, I should say. And being interviewed on CNN, he said, we expect President Biden's administration would look at the behavior of Venezuela in relation to sanctions. And he referenced the fact that the U.S. has eased sanctions on Venezuela's oil sector after a deal was reached between the Venezuelan government and opposition parties to hold elections in 2024. President Ali was asking if, based on, because apparently I didn't see it, Maduro going a step further since his referendum on Sunday and give people 3 months to get out of the Essequibo.
Yes, well, he did say apparently President Maduro is telling all of the oil operators who are operating in the Essequibo region, they have 3 months to get out, and he's told PDSVA, which is their petroleum, to start giving out oil mining rights and stuff like that. He's also set up a governor for the defense of Guyana, Essequibo, and he has appointed somebody as the governor for the defense or something like that. So he's obviously making and they're trying to. You also mentioned about giving all the people who live in that region Venezuelan citizenship. Along that lines, and so he's ramping it up. He's not taking it down.
You realize he moving like Putin, right? He ain't taking on nobody.
Exactly. It's almost like you're operating from the Russian playbook in terms of Crimea and stuff and what happened.
He's not taking on a soul, and I'm surprised the US has stood by so far and are just watching.
Relatively quietly. Yeah.
Now, that last move there has a direct impact on significant American interests.
Yes.
Okay. So I doubt before the weekend this week is out. I have 2 more days in this week. And America will not make a definitive statement, because if he gives them 3 months to get out, that means he's claimed the land.
Pretty much.
You know? He hasn't gone as fast as I know as putting soldiers on the ground across the border yet, because I think, is it that the river separates the present line delineation, the Essequibo?
I don't know,
I don't know.
I don't know if there is a land border. I always have assumed that there is also a land border too. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said that because of the fact one of the news reports over the weekend in the Kyton newspaper said that the Venezuela had a camp with 35 soldiers across the banks of the Essequibo with a big Venezuelan flag. You understand? That's kind of why my mind went river border now, Yeah. But I'm sure the river is not the only delineating mark between the disputed land. But I mean, he's ramping it up. And he is telling American interests, including Exxon, Mobil, and Chevron, you have 3 months to get out, or whoever else, and appointing a mayor for Essequibo, Guyana, and now telling the energy minister to grant concessions to who they want. I mean, he's saying, well, the referendum say yes, the land is mine, and me at time with you.
Yeah. I saw an interview last night with the British ambassador in Trinidad, but sorry, not British High Commissioner in Trinidad, and what was the British position on the issue, and she articulated that the British sees the matter as settled since 1899. Basically, that's what she's saying. That the 1899 arbitration is what settled the border, and as far as the British lens, those borders already a settled issue.
That's a diplomatic statement, right?
Yeah, well, it's the British High Commission you're talking to, so they will be diplomatic, and of course they will have a British High Commission in Guyana that I assume would be, involved on whatever level in terms of the discussion. Yeah, but it all of the saber rattling, so to speak, that Maduro is doing, he is taking a stance that seems at this point very uncompromising.
He don't time with nobody.
And I don't know that Venezuela can do anything but ramp up, the security of its borders, because you're basically saying you're basically saying that that border no longer exists. So you have a country that's more militarily powerful than you saying your border no longer exists.
Yeah.
People who live there have 3 months to get out. 3 months have to get out. I have appointed a governor of defense, and it's some corporal or commander, whatever his name is. So he's already indicated that we now see that border as invisible. I can't see any other response from Venezuela but to ramp up the security at the borders.
Agreed.
What a response are you to give at this point? Because the utterings of President Maduro is not anything of let's discuss or let's talk or I'm waiting for any ICJ or no. He's operating on the basis of that line no longer exists. So you have to defend the line. However, that is being done. Well, because CARICOM is meeting tomorrow in emergency session, we'll see what comes out of it. Because CARICOM is still hoping for a negotiated solution, I assume, and for keeping the zone of peace that they articulate repeatedly in the Caribbean region.
Well, how are those actions to be considered peace within the bounds of peaceful?
Well, they're not. And basically, Maduro basically told CARICOM in paraphrased words, mind your business and be more objective.
And stay out of here. I don't clear the land already. I don't tell no.
Basically, he says that mind your business and be more objective.
Mind your business.
The only thing he didn't say was drink water.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Drink water and mind your business and be more objective.
And near climate now earlier. So I'm still trying to download that Alexander video, but what's the point? Yeah.
Oh, you're not getting it to go via WeTransfer?
Yeah.
You need it to come to you as an email, basically.
Yeah, that could go too, I guess. But the person is listening, so I'll take the link and download it from the link. Because Google can handle larger files. Yeah, so it's one of those things. We see how it goes. Back at home, UNC leader Kamala Prasad-Bissessar is asking the government, or called on the government to give food cards to MPs to the less fortunate this Christmas. She also warned her MPs not to use the food cards, to gain political support for themselves. What do you all think? I agree with that. I don't have a problem with that. But as you say, everything they want to give in this country is go through a whole restrictive process. So by the time people who really need them get them, you know.
What was the bacchanal about the food cards? I saw the.
I don't think it was a bacchanal. I think Mr. Prasad-Bissessar is calling on the government to give out food cards to all MPs to distribute to those who are vulnerable this Christmas season. I think she called on the government, but they have not responded. She also referenced the proposed, I didn't even call it proposed crime talks again, because I feel them crime talks are for good. You don't feel so?
Well, they don't seem to be on at this point, is what I would. Let me give a High Commission answer. And it is quite possible that they are can still be operationalized in the near future. But in the immediate future,
it is our hope that, don't forget, it is our hope that in the interest of all concerned, all stakeholders and the national community, that the talks will be convened sooner rather than later. That's the diplomatic lines.
Yeah, that kind of line,
yeah. In other words, there are no crime talks.
I don't know. And it's coming to Christmas time there, so you know.
You know what's sad about that? We've gotten to the point where everybody's joking about it now. Something as serious as crime. It's gotten to the point where it's actually hilarious now. These proposed crime talks and the kind of stumbling blocks these proposed crime talks have had since their announcement. So this is December 7th. Keeping the fingers crossed. If we continue growing, I don't think we're going to cross last year's record of murders, and that'll be a great thing. You understand? Let's keep fingers crossed. Let's hope the gangs don't rise up and do no drive-bys. It is a very vulnerable season. People should be careful as they go about their business.
Oh, definitely.
In malls, shopping generally, the extra vigilance is required. The airport is quite busy already.
Yep. A lot of flights came in early this morning from New York.
Yeah. So please, when you're picking up your family members or you are going about the malls and stuff, because there was a video that I saw being circulated on social media of a car that was parked. I think the person is a counselor or something, and a young man walked past the car, and then he walked back because something attracted his attention in the car. He sat at the side of the road and threw missiles at the window until the window broke. Then put it in the window. So he sat there for about 5 minutes throwing stuff at the window until it cracked. Then when he realized it was cracked enough, he sat away from it a little bit, so he wouldn't have to mash it up fully. Pushed in the window, grabbed some things on the front passenger seat, and walked off because something in the car attracted his attention.
That's a Trinidad video.
Yeah, I saw the video. I think the lady went to get something. It was a lady, and she went to get something to eat, and she left her purse on the front seat.
Yeah. So don't leave anything in the car that can attract.
Did they catch the guy?
No, it was a CCTV. Well, yeah, CCTV footage, somebody's business camera or something.
Was he clear?
I think you could see his face.
Okay. So they should catch him.
That'll make a difference. Excuse me.
So the TTPS are arresting him this morning. If that was a yesterday video.
Probably was arrested last night already because this face was visible to me.
Yeah.
Has it been their history to arrest people when the faces of the alleged perpetrators are visible?
I prefer to see those videos when they have a few minutes later.
A few minutes.
So you see there's a conclusion in a sense to the event.
Well, we have to have a new meme for that in Trinidad a few years later. Only minutes. It will not be minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
And put a TTPS logo right in the corner.
No, come on, stop being unkind.
A few
because I mean, in terms of solved, well, let me say, well, for solved murders, for intents and purposes, the guy, I think it was his name, Marlon. Was it Marlon Joseph? I can't remember his name. Who died on Lady Chancellor, and they found his body, and apparently they arrested a businessman from Central, or is it Grandy? I can't remember. For that particular incident, apparently the person's DNA was there. And they arrest them. This was the guy who was in women's clothing or whatever it was.
Right. Okay.
Remember that murder?
The body was found. The cross-dresser. I don't know if he's a trans person or was a trans person, or he was just in the report just said he was dressed in female clothing.
Right. So they got DNA, and the DNA led them to the arrest of that businessman.
What kind of DNA they got?
I don't know, but they solved the case on a certain level because that person is not arrested. Well, they were arrested.
That's very commendable because that case was 6 months ago.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So there is some good work happening in the TTPS.
I think the solvency rate is about 14-15% now, but that's still a long way to go to where you want it.
Yeah. So I mean, so good work.
Good work, yes. Nobody can discount that development is a very positive development.
Yeah.
Interesting. DNA.
Yeah.
Which means the DNA lab's up and running here?
You're asking me questions I cannot answer. I am not privy to that information, sir. I'm sure one of our listeners can send a comment and indicate.
Jay.
All I know is what I read.
All right. Do you have newspapers? Speaking of read.
Yeah, I do actually. So I can start with the Daily Express for this morning in Trinidad and Tobago. You spoke about the $20 million judgment.
Briefly.
Right. So that was set aside by Justice Joan Charles. I haven't seen Justice Charles in years and years and years and years and years. But anyway, Justice Joan Charles set it aside. But of course, it has now been appealed. It was appealed yesterday by the other side, and they asked the appeal court put it as a matter of urgency on the docket. Well, according to the news item yesterday that I heard with regard to that on news last night. So apparently an appeal has been filed. All right, so the Daily Express for this morning, Maduro's mad move. That's the headline that the Daily Express went with. Maduro's mad move. Ghana's president vows resistance, alerts allies. Venezuelan president orders state oil companies to move into Essequibo, appoints Major General as governor of region, which is what we touched on. The main picture is that of Terry Rondon's funeral, but there's a picture of Josanne Rondon, the daughter of Martin Terry Rondon, and is consoled by her sons Joshua and Jordan at the funeral service. Yeah, it was very sad actually. I watched some of it. $20 million judgment in Vindra case set aside. That's also a subheadline on the front page of the Daily Express this morning. On the back page, West Indies let down. Batting falls short as England win second ODI. And the other subheadline on the back page, Manchester United, Scott McTominay, is that how you pronounce that word? Centre scores his side's second goal during the English Premier League match against Chelsea at Old Trafford Stadium. So that's a subheadline if you want to, back page headline if you want to call it that. Moving on to the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian today. What did they go with as their main headline? I'll tell you now. 20 million judgment set aside. A new development in the Vindra Naipaul Coolman murder case. $20 million judgment set aside. That's the headline that the Guardian went with. High Court Judge Joan Charles rules court filings were improperly served. AG Reginald Armour pleased with latest decision. Lawyers for 9 claimants file urgent appeal. Farley to work on relationship with Rowley in New Year. CARICOM to hold emergency talks on Guyana-Venezuela situation. And the main picture is again from the funeral of Terry Rondon. On the back page of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian, as Windies lose second ODI series goes to decider. That's all you need to know on the back page of the Guardian for this morning. Moving on now to the Trinidad and Tobago Newsday, and I forgot to give the date, but it is Thursday, December 7th, 2023. The headline of the Newsday, well, the Newsday kind of sided with the Express in terms of the main story. Tensions rise over Essequibo. Maduro adds disputed region to new map of Venezuela. Guyana president seeks help from United Nations. Brown, TT stands with CARICOM, wants peace. So that's the main headline. Subheadline, court sets aside $20 million award to 9 murder accused. Back page of the Newsday. Windies lose by 6 wickets. Series leveled 1-1. England bounce back. Cudgel Lewis hits confusion in basketball. And that's it for our 3 dailies this morning.
All right, let me just play the Alexander video. I got it. I got to download it so people could see what we were talking about.
Now, from just mere inception, how do you feel with respect to the stability, let's start with the stability of the body count?
It's weak.
It's like that.
I didn't even do much. Like, even if I try to place it here in the middle makes no sense because with me jumping or moving, or if I'm trying to...
Because, all right, from the time you hear an explosion of some kind. Now, and to be honest with members of the public, if we're dealing with operational type of equipment, it should not be the same for a police officer doing a traffic stop. This is ideal for a traffic stop.
Yes.
Where you're communicating with members of the public and you're having them right there and all of that. But if you're maneuvering in and around buildings,
you need something, you see? You need something stronger. So I now understand why it's falling off.
right? No matter what you do sometimes,
Yeah, it's weak.
there's a level of difficulty.
It's not snapping like on his glove.
Right. So if you're doing maneuvers,
This is our best and bravest, right?
Yeah.
That's the best and the bravest we have. Put up the phone. Surf internet. What does Instagram have to offer today? That's our best and bravest, right? And national TV talking about body cams can work and aided and abetted by. Right? So she jumps up and she shows that it could jump off when she's jumping. And he said it could work for traffic, but it can't work for serious operations. That's...
Yeah, well, it's your wrong body cam.
And if it's the wrong body cam, what, you all don't have international counterparts that you all go and talk to every day?
And
Only that.
those issues, yes.
They always going on some training course and conference.
There's a movie, Wendell, you're right, there's a movie that describes both of them, you know.
Wendell, you there, join us.
I don't want to be unkind. So they trying to bring a police service. We've spoken about body cams for years and they went and procure. If that is the case, the wrong kind of body cam, because you don't believe nothing he said. They probably have a little orchestrated discussion there to make a particular point.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's really unfortunate that this is what the TT police service has representing them. That's all I have to say. Because even if that is the case, I don't know that he has gone on national TV to say that we bought the wrong body cams.
Basic, that's what you're saying.
Because he's a senior police officer. We bought the wrong body cam, so we can't use it.
All right. Well, let's get results of our morning poll. Let's just acknowledge some of our listeners. Richard Duku, Mo Gaines, Brent Sylvester, Helen Keith, Gloria Gray, good morning. Carol Joseph, Ian R. Joseph, Arno, good morning. Anthony Tinto, out in a cold Canada, morning. Victor Charles, Boy Bidesi, Lorraine Corby, Michael De Silva, good morning. Michael De Silva. Mike, good morning to you, man. Long time. He's the father of Joshua De Silva, our West Indies wicket keeper. So good morning to you, Michael. Good morning to Caroline. Long time. We have to get together.
So I'm calling this morning.
You guys come up with that while I give the results of our morning poll. Our poll yesterday. Do you agree with the WHO that there should be increase on taxes for alcohol, sweetened drinks, and cigarettes to promote health? That was our poll yesterday. Yeah, I'll give you the results right after this.
This is the season of giving, and you can give the holiday happiness to your loved ones. Send and receive more with the MoneyGram. Share the joy with your loved ones and make Christmas extra special this year. With every MoneyGram transfer, this Christmas you have the chance to win a cash voucher. Share the joy of the season with your loved ones. Visit any MoneyGram agent location or Massey stores nationwide for details. And check our Facebook and Instagram page. This promotion has been approved by the NLCB.
All right, our poll yesterday. Do you agree with the WHO that there should be increase on taxes for alcohol, sweetened drinks, and cigarettes to promote health? The results are in. 64%, 64 said yes.
The only question that comes to my head is kind of controversial.
Oh, I love
That
it.
never stopped me before.
No, it didn't. I'm just going to say that too. You're
Well,
right.
you have different things that you could pull. One, you have the Venezuela situation. You have the award. Well, the the setting aside of the judgment yesterday, whether you agree with that decision, so you have different things. You have the issue of body cams.
Yeah.
So which one was you saying? What are you saying that was controversial?
Do you agree with Trinidad and Tobago standing with CARICOM's position in Venezuela, Guyana?
That's not controversial.
Some people may say we have to.
I think we have. I don't think we have a choice.
That's why it's controversial.
No, but I mean, but
we
also
can say we disagree with CARICOM. We can say we disagree with CARICOM and provide reasons.
I know, but it's a rule of law decision too. Because it's already before the ICJ. So
and Venezuela said they don't recognize the ICJ and
exactly. So Trinidad, I don't think Trinidad can make any other decision.
So what is the question?
But I mean, you could ask that, but I'm just giving an idea of different things.
What is your proposed question if you have one for the $20 million case?
You mean the setting aside of the judgment? Well, the Attorney General's office certainly saw it as a victory. So do you think it's a victory for the AG's office, the setting aside of that $20 million?
You think people know what that is? Is that really in relation to those who brought the
Paul Kuhlman case? But it was big news at the time. But I mean, the Venezuela issue is
the biggest issue.
Is the biggest issue on the front page of 2 of the dailies this morning.
So do you think the US should make definitive moves to protect their interest in? I mean, we are not sure, but then we can. I'm sure Or should CARICOM change its position or intensify its position regarding the Venezuela? Come. Think.
If it came to it, should Trinidad and Tobago send troops to Venezuela? I mean, to Ghana. You have all sorts of ways you could answer. You could ask questions considering that situation.
I like that.
I like that too. All right, well, let's do that one then. Should Trinidad and Tobago send our forces into...
Because the president of Guyana is calling for more definitive action.
Yeah. And they are meeting an emergency session tomorrow.
I'll put the word support.
Yeah.
But support in what way? I think troops. But can we say that? That's the question you want? You have to be so diplomatically correct to these questions. Could
if CARICOM decides to more definitively assist Ghana, do you support Trinidad and Tobago troops being sent to Ghana? Something like that? Because they are meeting an emergency session tomorrow. So if part of that decision is that, look, we should send the troops to help secure the Guyanese border, do you support Trinidad and Tobago? Would you support Trinidad and Tobago sending troops to Ghana to assist in its territorial dispute with Venezuela? I don't know how much troops we could send. I mean, I assume we can.
One finger typing. All right, go ahead with it. Let me just give you telephone numbers. Call us right now, 222-8255. Toll free, North Americans, 866-525-1099. Yes or no on WhatsApp at 3181021. On Facebook and on YouTube. We'd love to know where you're messaging us from. They could also tell us. Good morning, Edward Adams. CJ New York, good morning. Shireen Jack. Brian Marcel. Boy Bedesi says yes. Long Islander.
You know, that would mean the end of the Dragon, right?
Oh, good morning, Long Islander. Should CARICOM decide on definitive actions?
It will be the end of the Dragon, right? Okay. which is not even complete yet.
Yeah. Would you support TNT sending troops to Guyana? Yes or no?
I just got one yes so far. Am I right?
Yeah, you are correct.
Right.
You are correct.
So that's our poll this morning. We are going there. Should CARICOM decide on more definitive actions in the border dispute, because they are meeting an emergency session tomorrow, would you support TNT sending troops to Guyana? Yes or no? Yeah. That's our poll.
Of course, we'll continue with our poll after 7 o'clock news, because it's 7 o'clock, 1 minute to 7. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Grandy. Absolutely not.
All right. Is it raining in Grandy right now?
It's the sun is looking to pierce out, overcast.
All right. Thank you so much, Grandy. Slick Money Grip says, hell no. Josie Richardson says no. Wayne Joseph says out in Ontario, Canada, says yes. Sunny San Fernando says yes to the poll. Jaron Joseph says no. All right. Wayne B says yes. What says you, caller?
Good morning, Arima, and says no.
All right, Arima, have a dry one. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning to the Ball family. Good morning to the Ball Breakfast Crew.
Morning, buddy.
The answer is absolutely yes. Once CARICOM approves it, yes, we have to follow what CARICOM is doing. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, New York. Miss Bonaire West. Good morning, Miss Bonaire West. She says, good morning, gentlemen. No. Long Islander. Morning, Long Islander. Says no. DL says yes to the poll. Ish out in Malik. Morning, Ish. I haven't seen you in our favorite place in a long time. He says no. Lester Craigwell, no to the poll. Mike Black says no. Guy Small says no. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
You can't take a damn joke if they want y'all on choose to go. Hell no.
All right. Thank you, Zena.
Our poll this morning: should CARICOM decide on more definitive actions in the border dispute, would you support TNT sending troops to Guyana? That's our poll this morning.
Yep. Carol Guevara says no. Julia Espiti says no. Cascade St. Anne says yes. Lorna. Morning, Lorna. Morning, Kali. And I just got a message from Indy. Yes. And she says it is pouring in Lange Park. Julia Espiti says no. Rena Buttigieg says no. Corey Junk says no. Masada says yes. Right. Okay. Let's get into our 7 o'clock major news. We'll continue after 7 for a little bit. It's exactly 7 o'clock.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
Venezuela moves to claim Guyana-controlled region. Meanwhile, Guyana's president calls on the U.S. for intervention in the matter. Energy Chamber welcomes news of the signing of Atlantic Restructuring Agreement. UNC tells government it must reduce fuel price to help citizens for Christmas, and Cabinet urged to give its late PNM stalwart Martin Terry Rondon fitting tribute. Details in a moment. This is news to 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. I'm Avril Sintel Bob. Good morning. The BBC is reporting Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro is moving ahead with its plans to take over Essequibo, the oil-rich region controlled by neighboring Guyana. Maduro has ordered the state oil company to issue extraction licenses there and proposed the National Assembly pass a bill making the area part of Venezuela. Guyana has put its defense forces on full alert in response. Venezuelan voters on Sunday approved a referendum claiming rights over Essequibo, ratcheting up tensions. In a Facebook address slamming Mr. Maduro's missteps, Guyana's President Irfan Ali said that he had already spoken to the UN Secretary General and is asking the UN Security Council to consider intervening. Meanwhile, the Guyana president has expressed grave concerns about the latest actions of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, deeming them a direct threat to Guyana, aimed at creating instability in the region. He made the comments in an interview on CNN on Wednesday night. Ali's comments follows Maduro's Tuesday night announcement appointing a governor for Guyana's Essequibo region and granting concessions, demanding companies vacate the area within 3 months. Addressing the developments, President Ali told CNN that he believes the United States ought to take these new actions by Venezuela into consideration. He said that they expect President Biden's administration would look at the behavior of Venezuela in relation to the sanctions themselves. Notably, in October, the Biden administration broadly eased sanctions on Venezuela's oil sector after a deal was reached between Venezuela government and opposition parties for the 2024 election. President Ali was asked if he thinks the statements issued by international allies go far enough and whether or not he thinks the region was doing enough to denounce Maduro's provocation. Guyana's foreign ministry met with several diplomats yesterday to enlist their support as the country bolsters its position to fight Venezuela from taking control of the disputed Essequibo region. According to a report from news source GY.com, Guyana's Foreign Secretary Robert Passad said the measures announced by Venezuela and the implications were among the issues discussed with the foreign diplomats. He said that it was merely to provide an update to the diplomatic corps on the recent statements and implications of recent statements made by President Maduro and to enlist their continued support both bilaterally and multilaterally. The report stated that among the ambassadors who met with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs team was recently appointed U.S. Ambassador to Guyana, Nicole de Thoreau. It said that while the ambassador did not want to disclose what took place at the meeting, she shared that the matter was being discussed by government officials in Washington. The U.S. State Department has already indicated that the Venezuelan referendum, which was conducted on Sunday, cannot be used to settle the border controversy between the Guyana and Venezuela people. According to the report, the U.S. has repeatedly made known its support of the 1899 arbitral award in favor of Guyana. It was further reported that British High Commissioner to Guyana, Jane Miller, said the update from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs was very useful. CARICOM is due to meet in emergency sessions tomorrow, Friday, to discuss the developments between Guyana and Venezuela. Staying on energy matters, the Energy Chamber of Trinidad and Tobago has welcomed the news of the final signing of the Atlantic Restructuring Agreement. It says the restructuring of Atlantic will create greater certainty for the facility's shareholders and allow investment into the plant, including investments to reduce the carbon footprint of the LNG produced through Atlantic. The chamber says while the specific details of the new commercial and legal structure are not yet known, it is cautiously optimistic that the new structure will positively influence much needed future investment into upstream gas production. Increased investment into upstream production will provide additional work for the service companies and contractors, increase security of supply to the downstream plants, and increase government revenue, it said. The government secured a new unitized commercial structure for Atlantic LNG, which allows the Natural Gas Company of Trinidad and Tobago to obtain a greater share in the revenue derived from the sale of LNG on the global market for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley witnessed the commemorative inking of the deal by NGC, Shell, and BP in London this week. This agreement will provide for the long-term sustainability of the Trinidad and Tobago's gas sector and a higher level of certainty, which is crucial for future investment. Speaking at the commemorative signing ceremony, Prime Minister Dr. Rowley thanked BP and Shell for their commitment throughout the years of negotiations to achieve this historic milestone for the energy industry and for Trinidad and Tobago. Still on energy matters, the opposition is calling on government to immediately reduce the price of fuel at the pump, given what it describes as the significant fall in the price of oil globally. UNC claims West Texas intermediate is presently averaging US $70 per barrel and Brent at US $74 per barrel. It claims based on this, the government has absolutely no logical justification or merit to continue charging citizens of fuel at the pump that is based on an oil price of $90, as stipulated in the 2023 budget 1 year ago. UNC alleges with the government indicating increased revenue for TNT through the Atlantic LNG renegotiations, it has a duty to reduce fuel prices, especially at this Christmas period, which would result in lower food prices, transportation costs, and disposable income for the population. You are listening to news on Power 102 Digital to 7 o'clock. The life and service to people, community, and country were highlighted during the eulogy for the late PNM stalwart Martin Terry Rondon. Delivering the eulogy, one of Rondon's nieces recalled his community involvement with people, his political journey, love for family and agriculture, his care and concern for people regardless of their religion, political support, or other differences were also mentioned.
Martin's affection for his community, his adventurous spirit, and his love for his family and friends were defining aspects of his character. He had a way of making those around him feel cherished, whether through sharing moments of laughter or joy or offering a helping hand wherever it was needed. In recognition of his outstanding contributions, Uncle Terry was honored with the Hummingbird Medal in 2022. This prestigious accolade served as a testament to his unwavering dedication and positive impact he made on the communities in Trinidad's Northeast region.
The nation was urged to cherish and emulate the positive attributes Rondon displayed to help build a better nation.
As we say our final goodbyes to Martin Terry Rondon, let us remember the profound impact he had on the lives of those he touched. His commitment to public service and his genuine care for his community and loved ones will forever serve as an inspiration to us all. The flame he ignited, fueled by compassion and empathy, will continue to break through the barriers of indifference, fulfilling our fundamental duty to others. I know Uncle Terry's mantra was to embrace the responsibility bestowed upon you as a servant of the people and to shower those under your care with unconditional love and support.
Rondon's son said he initially did not want his father to get involved in the political arena due to its hectic and extensive work. However, in recollection of his father's life, contribution, and accomplishments, he was impressed with the positive impact it had on the lives of many individuals. He recalled some of the mantras his father lived by, which included good for one, good for all, and every mouth shall be fed.
I was never a strong proponent for my father and his activities because every second he spent doing his job took away from the time at home. But I never understood that I could walk into my house, turn on a switch, no matter the water schedule, and get water, turn on a light switch and get lights. When the song of rain fall, I pull my covers. My father served a people in this country that did not have those basic necessities.
Rondon's daughter, Josanne Rondon, reflected on her father's love and support and admitted it would be tough to move on.
In my 48 years, I have never known another love like the love from my daddy. My daddy ensured that my days were filled with sunshine, even though the weatherman said rain. My daddy is my everything. And my world is empty. My heart is shattered. And I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But one thing I do know is that I have the love of my daddy in my heart.
The funeral service was attended by Acting Prime Minister Colin Imbert as well as several government ministers. Finally, here's weather news for the period today till midnight. Trinidad and Tobago, variably cloudy and breezy conditions, accompanied by showers over a few areas, particularly during the morning. There's also the medium chance of the heavier shower or thunderstorm. Gradual settling is expected as the day progresses, despite the lingering shower. Gusty winds and street flooding are likely near heavy downpours. Look out for a forecast maximum temperature of 30 degrees Celsius at Piakio International Airport and 31 at Crown Point in Tobago. Currently, the temperature at both localities is 25 degrees Celsius. Recapping your headlines at 7 o'clock, Venezuela moves to claim Guyana-controlled region. Meanwhile, Guyana says it's put up its defense forces on full alert in response. Energy Chamber welcomes news of the signing of Atlantic Restructuring Agreement. UNC tells government it must reduce fuel price to help citizens for Christmas, and Cabinet urged to give its Lady and stalwart Martin Terry Rondon fitting tribute. I'm Afril Sintil Bab. That was News 2 at 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. Look out for more news in detail at 12 noon, and update at 8 o'clock is also coming up. For more details, log on to power102fm.com.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
All right. Thank you so much, Avril, for our major news. You can join Avril again come 8 o'clock for our news brief right here on Power 102 Digital. Quickly, let's take a look at what's happening traffic-wise from Tumpuna Road. Well, I should say from Demerara Road to Tumpuna Road. You've got some traffic. Piarco towards UE, Valse, and Port of Spain also got some traffic. On the Eastern Main Road, it's moving from Tacarigua past Macoya, heading towards Mova. It's moving. Usual stop and go. County Roundabout to Eastern Main Road. You've got some traffic there as well. Let's head down south. Make our way up north. Nothing really to tell you about in the south. Taruba Link Road is where you have your traffic this morning, exiting onto Taruba Link Road from southbound Solo and heading to the roundabout, then to Marabella. You got some traffic. Heading north, you got some traffic from Taruba Link Road, volume heading northbound till about Couva. Rivulet Road's got some volume as well. And then from Couva, it continues all the way up to Shagona. Shagona's main road is pretty heavy. And it's moving, heading straight up towards the interchange. Same thing on the southern main road to Chinchin Road. Chinchin Road is heavy. Volume, it's moving. Monroe Road, volume again. All right. Out to the west, just after Moncoko Road, you're going to pick up your traffic heading towards the roundabout. Diego Martin, various spots by the traffic lights. All right. Okay, so let's get back in. We'll just take about 5 more minutes on our poll. I got Miss Ingrid in Tucson, Arizona, saying absolutely yes to the poll. Beauty Culture says no to the poll. Let me just check here on WhatsApp at 3181021. Junior says no. All right. Thank you, Junior. All right. Should CARICOM decide on more definitive actions in the border dispute, would you support Trinidad and Tobago sending troops to Guyana? That is our poll. All right. We just take a couple of minutes again. We'll do 4 more minutes to answer on our poll. Okay, Beauty Culture. Yeah. All right. So should we send troops? Should we send the government boots to Guyana? I can't play that song. I'm not hearing you, Richie Rich.
You're muted.
You're muted. Right,
no,
there
I'm
you go.
not.
Well, we weren't hearing you.
Yeah, just now. I said, but I'll give the results that we have at this point.
Hold on. We're just doing we're doing 2 more minutes again of the poll because we came on at 58. I have Val saying yes. Thank you, Val. Ooh. Finbar Collins says no. Would you support TNT sending troops to Guyana? All right.
Yeah. So our poll this morning, should CARICOM decide on more definitive action in the border dispute? Would you support TNT sending troops to Guyana? Because, of course, CARICOM is meeting in emergency session. I can't think of any issue in CARICOM's history that has been this serious. I can't think of, maybe there has been, but I just can't think of any.
Was CARICOM around for CARICOM is what, 50 years old, is it?
Yeah.
Was how long ago was the Grenada-US situation?
Did that predate CARICOM, or was that during?
No, that I was in. No, that CARICOM predated that.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't. I mean, that's so many. I can't remember what CARICOM's position would have been during that Grenada-US issue.
CARICOM met on that. And that was pretty serious too, because the US, for all intents and purposes, went into Grenada.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah, 1983. So CARICOM was active then. It must be pretty young, but you know.
Yeah. All right, we have some calls. Good morning.
Morning, brother. This is DJ Ray. Listen, you guys are not quite specific with your questions. One is CARICOM support, one is Trinidad and Tobago support. Which is one that you need to?
No. The question is very clear. No, you're not listening carefully to the question. The question is, should CARICOM decide on more definitive actions in the border dispute, would you support TNT sending troops to Ghana?
There is a proviso.
Yeah. So we're saying that it's on CARICOM deciding, would you support TNT sending troops?
Trinidad and Tobago is a member of the CARICOM, I understand. I can't answer that yet. No. It's a confusing question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, DJ Ray. Marcio, no to the poll.
That occurred to me after is the UNC, and I got confused. The UNC is calling on the government to lower fuel prices. Aren't our fuel prices just floating?
Not completely. I don't think it's completely.
There are parameters within which it floats. So it's not absolute.
Yeah, it's not absolutely floating.
And the UNC is saying that the global oil prices have been lower generally, and that should have been a catalyst for us to have lower fuel prices here. And that could have been a question we could have pulled, or can probably still pull tomorrow.
All right, got some calls coming through. Good morning.
Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Dr. Paul, and good morning.
Good morning, my dear.
Good morning.
So don't burn your mouth. Anyway, Steve, you know, at first, when the man called just answering about the question, I was having that same problem, you know. But then when I read it again, it says, should CARICOM decide on it? So then, if CARICOM should decide on it, then it's Trinidad and Tobago. If people would support troops going to Trinidad and Tobago, to Guyana. That's the question, right?
Mm-hmm,
right.
Yeah. So, would you support TNT sending troops?
Boy, I in the middle. We have any, I don't know. I mean, what against what Guyana, against what Venezuela has, and then Venezuela friends in Russia. And I saw in the news something on my phone last night where Brazil is gathering military people. So I don't know which side they're on. I believe it's Venezuela. That's all.
Brazil, I think leans towards Ghana.
Oh, well, that would be good. Because I don't know what to say now. I don't want to send our people. I find we sending troops to countries. I mean, we have interest in CARICOM, yes, because we are part of it. But for our young people to go and get killed for big people's problems, sometimes I don't agree with that. But I voted yes. But when I read the question just now, I think I will say no.
All right. So take out a yes and put a no. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. So Rich, now you can give the results of our morning poll.
Well, the poll this morning is, should CARICOM decide on more definitive action in the border dispute, would you support TNT sending troops to Ghana? We had 31 people voting on the poll this morning. Of the 31 people, 21 of you said no, you would not support TNT sending troops to Ghana. 10 of you said yes, you would. I suppose it's a little kind of complex. It's a complex situation, but I suppose how you could look at it is there are some people in Venezuela that also think that Trinidad is part of Venezuela. And let's
But it
assume
is not. So that thought process is null and void.
Yeah. If it is that they were saying that they were claiming Trinidad, would you want CARICOM troops there too? So I suppose, you could look at it that way too.
Yeah. We're going to be talking pornography.
Yeah.
We have one of the countries that may I add the Caribbean's top. But would it be good to call him a sexologist? Good morning, Dr. Raj.
Good morning. I am a sexologist.
Yeah. I was just trying to get the right
terminology.
No, he was saying he wanted to put top Caribbean.
Caribbean. The adjectives, the superlative adjectives.
In the Caribbean, English-speaking Caribbean, so yes.
Right. And I've seen a Guardian/CNC report where sex expert disputes Kamala's porn addiction claims. Now, for some context, the leader of the opposition recently asked the government, and I'm paraphrasing here, to intervene, since a report came out that quite a number of children had been abused, and there was some sort of linkages being made between Trinidad and Tobago's supposed porn addiction to the cases of abuse, etc., in Trinidad and Tobago, where children are concerned. First of all, Dr. Raj, thank you for joining us. You can check him out every Friday right here on Power Digital.
Good morning.
Where are the ladies this morning? They're sleeping.
Can I make a statement? I never disputed the ladies' comment. I asked, where's the evidence of it? Okay, so I never said what she said was wrong. I asked, where's the evidence? Who has done the research? What kind of data do we have concerning porn addiction and child abuse? We have a serious problem with porn addiction in Trinidad. I can tell you that, because a lot of persons come to me for porn addiction, especially young people. But I'll tell you something with porn addiction. If you're addicted to porn, you find yourself in a room in front of a computer, you're looking at porn, you're reading porn, you satisfy yourself, and that's the end of it most of the times. It's not you using porn addiction to go there and commit a crime. So the linkage between porn addiction and child abuse, we have to find the data concerning that.
If there's data to support that, somebody has to do the inquiry.
Well, that's what I said. Nobody's going to give a grant to study that. Who's going to give the grant? The government is not going to give me a grant to study that, but I see hundreds of persons who have porn addiction, who comes to me for porn addiction, to deal with porn addiction, but they'll tell you that their porn addiction is that they like looking at porn, but they are shy about it. They look at porn in the comfort of their home, their office, locked away somewhere, so that they can get their satisfaction that they need, their sexual gratification.
What is the difference between porn use and porn addiction?
Porn addiction is when you depend on porn. It's like alcohol abuse, cigarette abuse, cocaine abuse, addiction, anything that you are addicted to. There are persons who will go to work and you think that they're doing their work on their computer and they're looking at porn. That's addiction. It means you cannot take your eyes off of porn, no time of the day. That's what porn addiction is about. And there are studios at UWI around this area. You have UWI who spend a lot of time looking at porn. They don't even want to study because they're so addicted to porn. And when you're addicted to porn, you want to look at different genres of porn as time goes by. But
why do you say Trinidad and Tobago has a porn addiction? Where's the evidence to support that claim?
Well, that's it. I can tell you, I have evidence about people being addicted to porn coming to me for treatment, but that's as far as it goes. I have not been sanctioned to go out there and ask the wider public, are you addicted to porn? How much porn do you look at? I've not done that sort of data. So that's why I'm saying, where is the evidence?
So even the statement that TNT has a porn addiction problem is up for question.
I think so. I think the statement should be Trinidadians love porn. They do love porn because we are always in the top 10.
But even that statement is a wide statement. You're a scientist, right? So yes. Trinidad and Tobago loves porn. When you make that kind of statement, Trinidad and Tobago is 1.4 million people.
Correct.
When you make that kind of statement, what is the scientific backing for that? Do you know that 1/4 of the population, 1/10 of the population, at what point does it is it satisfied to say that Trinidad and Tobago love porn compared to Grenada or Barbados? Is it that a larger percentage of Trinidad and Tobago's population compared to other countries in the Caribbean love porn? That statement is very wide and uncontextualized.
That's a very good statement you're making, and the information that we have, the only information we have is from porn hubs and all other sites that monitors how many persons look at porn on a daily basis and what part of the world they're looking at porn. Now, it might be the same person looking at porn 10 times for the day, but it's only one person. So we need to dig deeper into this and find out exactly how many persons look at porn, or do we really have a serious problem with porn usage or porn addiction? That's where the conversation has to start.
No, you're right. I think the last information I saw is that in terms of Caribbean searches or Western Hemispheric searches, TNT for a small country per capita came up relatively high. Would that be correct?
Yes. We're always in the first three for the last 10 years or so. We had this.
Per capita.
Sorry?
Is that a per capita rating that you're talking about?
Yeah, per capita, because we are a small population.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that per capita rating might be, let's say it might be 1,000 person looking at porn 10 times a day. So that will be 10,000. But it doesn't mean 10,000 people looking at porn. So that's where we have to be very careful about that.
How do we, because you say there's the difference between consumption and addiction.
Yes.
And as somebody who you just said that there are hundreds, you say, people come to you to help deal with their addiction. Would that be correct? That's what you said just now?
Different areas of sexual problems. But porn addiction, right? I cannot put a number on it because I've not done that research, because I know persons, like let's say 10 persons come to me for the month and say that they're addicted to porn. You may find out that they're really not addicted to porn. They like porn and they depend on porn, let's say, to get an erection, to have intercourse with their partner. That's not addiction to porn. They're using it as a tool to have intercourse. But they may term it as addiction. But when you talk to them, it may not be addiction. So that's why I'm asking the question, where is the research to back up what is being said?
What are the main types of, of course in a general sense, because your business deals with confidentiality, of issues that come to you?
Dysfunction, premature ejaculation, inability to conceive, women who don't enjoy sex because it's not done properly for them in their mind. Sometimes it might be a physical deficiency. All these different things I deal with. I deal with a whole wide cross section of things that are related to sex and sexual dysfunction. But to categorize each part of it, I can do that if I had the staff to do it, if I had the funding to do it, but I can't just do that and say, well, okay, this is the evidence for Trinidad and Tobago. You have to look at the demographics, you have to look at the racial structure, you have to look at the age structure, all these different things. There are some persons who prefer to look at porn as opposed to going out there and meeting someone, developing a relationship to have intercourse.
Now, there are different views. We have a pretty diverse population. And I find Richard real quiet today. Can you find so, Dr. Raj?
Oh, no, I was trying to see. I was quickly trying to pull up the per capita latest statistics for porn. But I'm not getting the per capita. I'm just getting general, the top 20 countries that watch porn. But Trinidad is not in the top 20 generally. So I think it's on a per capita basis, maybe is where we feature.
Yes,
per capita. So I was trying to get an updated version of that.
But I think I haven't seen any information on that over the last 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
At one time, we were always up there. I think at once if Steve will remember, we were number one, and that was a hot topic on Sexplosion. But I asked the question, number one, in terms of what? We all a dot. It's a dot, literally a dot, compared to the world population. And then,
but it would have to be per capita, because you can't compare countries with different population sizes in raw figures. So it has to be per 100,000 in the population or whatever. That's per capita. So it would never be absolute.
Correct.
Yes.
So So because I started a question, we have a diverse population. We have a pretty religious population. And some people have even gone so far, I've seen on social media, based on Mrs. Prasad-Bissessa's commentary, to say, well, porn is bad, we should ban porn, and the authorities should use the digital technology to ban the access to porn in Trinidad and Tobago. What's your perspective on that?
I don't believe in banning anything, because if you do that, it's going to go underground, and people are going to find a way to look at it. The dark web is out there. There are persons who are not supposed to go on the dark web, and they do go on the dark web. So you can't really ban one. And from a religious perspective, everyone will say, ban this and ban that, ban this. Where do we stop? One religion will say eating a certain type of meat is bad. One religion might say don't eat meat altogether. Let's ban meat. Let's ban this. Let's ban the other. I don't believe in that. I really don't. I believe in confronting the problems that we have and dealing with the problem, finding solutions for the problem, if there is a problem.
Yeah. So a lot of I think basically what you're saying, Araj, is that a lot of it is the research has to be done to paint a better picture.
That's right. We have to do research, and it has to be done by somebody who's trusted, somebody who has been in the arena for so many years, not in any controversy. Like I have been in this arena for close to 30 years, no controversy, and people trust me, right? But like I said, who is going to give the grant to do it? Is the government going to do that? Social Development Ministry? Who is going to do it?
Mm-hmm.
But do you think in terms of, because people read about sex in any country and they get all religious and touchy, do you think we understand, or would it be a productive engagement to understand the search habits, one, but also the accompanying issues related to that in Trinidad and Tobago as a study?
Yes. Like anything else, once you have this study done and you have all the information, there are persons who can take that information and develop plans and strategy to work with that. For example, if you have Alcohol Anonymous, for persons who are addicted to alcohol, do we have anything in place for persons who claim to be addicted to porn? Do we have anything to deal with these individuals? There are persons who are addicted to sex, right? So what do we have in place for that? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And this is where the problem lies. We bury our heads in the sand. It doesn't exist until it pops up on a political platform, which is a political statement, and the country becomes polarized once again because of who has said it and why they have said it. But I'm not disputing what the lady has said. I am simply asking, what evidence do we have to support what she has said? And you must understand that media will take whatever you say and twist it according to how they want to do it for the headlines. But if you look at my entire interview in context, you'll understand that is what I'm asking. What are we doing? How are we going about getting this information? And what are we going to do either to assist these individuals or put a stop to the addiction?
One of the interesting data points I've just come across I've searched the internet and different generations and different porn propensities regarding age demographics. And I'm quoting from a Yahoo News piece here. Pornhub's average visitor age remained 37. So 37-year-olds coming up as the most prominent demographic searching for 2022, with 18 to 24 groups growing by 0.2%, the 35 to 44 age group dropping by 2%. But when you see Gen Z visitors ages 18 to 24, it's up 115%. And they are more likely to watch threesome videos, 72% more into cosplay, whatever that is. I don't know what that is. You'll explain in a while. And 58%, plus 58% into cartoon sex videos.
Yes.
Gen Y visitors ages 25 to 34 are up 143% and more into Asian porn. 58% have feet fetishes, and 33% are more likely to view videos with tattooed women.
Well, that's because of what they download. But remember, when you're looking at porn, you always want something different to stimulate your mind.
What is cosplay? What does that mean?
Cosplay is like when you're dressing up like film, books, comic characters, things like that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And you'll find there's an increase in persons looking at cartoon porn because they were fed a diet of cartoon when they were growing up. And you have this thing called hentai and what's the other one, fantasia and all those different things. So people are into that.
Yeah.
Yes, that is different for the stimulation that the person needs to help them to get off.
Let me tell you what is it. This people and this they talk about science. They looked at World Cup countries that increased their viewership of porn and Pornhub, and countries that decreased their viewership on porn and Pornhub. And Belgium gave up porn during a match. Canada only had a minus 7% drop. With when Brazil and Serbia were playing, both countries had a minus 40% drop in traffic when the teams played on November 23rd. This is fascinating. when Senegal versus Netherlands were playing, this is 2022 World Cup, eh? Senegal had a minus 43%, well, a decrease of 40%. Netherlands had a minus 9% decrease. France versus Australia, France dropped by 14%, Australia 6%. No, Australia increased. So when Australia was playing, people went to porn. Argentina dropped by 20%, big football country. Saudi Arabia dropped by 34%. Mexico dropped by just 9%. These people actually doing some. Brazil decreased by 40%, and the USA only dropped by 0.2%.
Could you imagine what happens when cricket is going on like that, like India? Everyone is glued to the television set. Nobody looks at porn. I will say, but in the West Indies, because we are doing badly, maybe it increases to get over the frustration. I don't know. I haven't done that research. I'm just asking.
We can ask Wendell tomorrow.
Yeah.
We can ask Wendell tomorrow. I say, Wendell, so when West Indies doing bad, do you stop watching porn?
No, he stopped.
Do you increase? Do you start?
Doctor, are you willing to take some calls from our audience?
Of course.
It'll be a good data.
While we're waiting for those calls, and Steve, I know Steve is going to put up the numbers.
Yeah.
I
was seeing hentai as being one of the big surging groups of pornography.
What's that? And what does that mean?
Yeah, could you explain what hentai is for our listening audience?
Hentai is Japanese porn that depicts, schoolgirls. It's all the fantasies that people would have concerning porn that they can't do in real, so they do it in a cartoon way.
Is this schoolgirls you said?
Yeah.
Like anime, they use anime characters.
Characters and hentai.
Yeah.
Have you found, because you've been practicing it for a number of years now, about 20-something years plus?
Close to 30 years. Yeah.
Have you seen changes in the trends in terms of what people are coming to you for? No pun intended.
Not really, one thing is men with sexual dysfunction related to ED or premature ejaculation. There's still a large volume of young persons who are interested in penis enhancement, get their penis bigger. There's this fallacy because they're looking at porn. They think that what they see in porn is real, so they want that.
What they see in porn is typical as opposed to real.
Yeah, in porn it's typical, but it's not real. It's like
in the average population.
You're doing an action movie, you'll choose someone who is buff. You're not going to choose a skinny guy to do it. So it's the very same thing with porn. And American porn especially, they cater to different genres and different body types and whatnot. Whereas the European porn, it's more real. They use real people, real size penis, real size vagina, real breasts, those kind of things. If it's sagging, they don't care. In America, it has to be all perfect and whatnot, embellished. But again, it all depends on where you're looking at it and what the person's mindsets are in terms of making of the porn. Because there's a market for every type of porn you can think about. There's someone out there or a group of individuals out there who are interested in any type of porn there are out there.
And in terms of its impact on relationships, you said a lot of people come to you with erectile dysfunction issues. And very often porn, I've read, sets up unrealistic expectations in terms of people's intimate relationships. Is that also something that you're seeing more and more of in Trinidad and Tobago?
I have seen that there are guys who are so into porn that they cannot get an erection unless they see porn, read porn, or have interaction with porn prior to engaging in sex with their partner. or they need their partner to do some of the things that they have read about in porn or they have seen in porn to get that excitement. So they will not get the erection that they need to have intercourse. And I have seen that happening. Yes, there's a direct relationship as far as I'm concerned with my clients between the things that people are looking at porn especially, and their function or dysfunction that they have in their bedroom.
We're talking a lot about what's happening in your head. What about the issues of the impact of our NCDs, diabetes, high blood pressure, etc., having on sexual functionality in the country?
Of course, all the that we have out there affecting persons. Stress. Trinidad is a very stressful society, and I'll tell you, a lot of persons have erectile dysfunction or sexual dysfunction due to stress, job-related stress, financial stress, and other things, even political stress. Some people are so polarized when it comes to politics that what is happening in the country politically will affect them sexually.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
People take around politics so much that it's distressing their sexual function in their relationships.
See, whenever there's let's say a general election or local election, sorry.
A local erection.
What happens in terms of persons coming for us? There's a relationship there because you see.
So you mean some of those PNM songs, great is the PNM. You mean is a sexual turn off for some?
Well, I think the stress of persons are so into politics or whatever is happening at the moment that it affects them in the bedroom because of the stress that it places on their mind and the physical attributes, compounded with diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, and all the other things that can affect you.
Issues, yeah.
All the other issues. And I put relationship, they'll say, nah, my diabetes is under control, so it's not that. But it's the stress of internally, the stress of knowing that you have diabetes. And it's a circulatory disease, so it's going to affect the way the body goes, the blood flows to the penis, and how long the blood stays in the penis, and the valves of the penis, and all those different things. But they don't want the technical part of it. They just want to know that, hey, is there a magical pill that I can take, that I can go and have sex tomorrow and everything's going to be okay? Everyone wants a magic pill fix.
Speaking of magical pills, have you found that the magical pills are being used more in Trinidad and Tobago?
Oh, I'll tell you something. Trinidad is we are one of the biggest importer of that. Per capita again. Per capita. In Trinidad, you could get every known pill that it have out there. Every known pill that it have out there anywhere in the world, Trinidad has it. You can go to the pharmacy, the grocery, and it's being sold over the counter, under the counter. Everybody wants a magic pill. Not that.
And what is the most popular magic pill on request in the country?
I don't want to call the name, but it rhymes with gra.
Why you don't want to call the name? So is it Viagra, Cialis, whatever they call it?
Viagra anymore. It's Camagra. It's out of India, and it's a
knockoff.
What, sorry? Camagra. But it causes damage to the person who is using it. For example, if you have diabetes and you're using Camagra to have intercourse, the valves will no longer work because you'll find that you start off with a quarter Camagra for this week. Next week, you need a half. Next month, you need a little more than a half. And the next year, you need a whole one. 2 years, you need two. And eventually, the valves are not going to work in your penis.
Is this a sanctioned drug by the Food Drug Division in Trinidad and Tobago? Is this something they're bringing in under the counter, given what we saw the other day with the raids and all that with the pharmaceutical sector?
Most of these products are not approved by the local drug administration. It's not. That's why they call the name.
Oh, so people should be wary of, what is it called?
Camagra. Anything that ends with gra, Camagra, Shuhagra, Winogra, all those things, then I would never recommend you use it. As a matter of fact, if you even have to use Viagra, it's under doctor's supervision because Viagra was never meant for sexual dysfunction. It was meant for persons who had heart, and that's why they tell you be careful how you use it. Now, there are two other products that are geared towards that. But again, it has to be done by somebody who's a professional in the industry. But in Trinidad, you can at any corner shop. And that's literally the way it is. You can go to a corner shop and get these things.
Have you found that there is a lot more also demand? Because part of what you offer in terms of you offer counseling services, but you also offer retail services of various sexual paraphernalia.
Yes.
There was an issue recently where I think one of your shipments or one of your products was blocked. Has that been resolved?
It's resolved in this way. The officer on duty at the moment, it's up to his or her discretion. That's how it has been resolved.
What does that mean?
It means that if I bring in something and you are at the counter, that, hey, I don't like this, my religion does not allow this, I'm going to seize it. If it comes into the country and Richard is there and Richard says, hey, I cool, you could bring in anything, you can carry it in.
So what does the law say? And first of all, give us some context for those who may not know what happened. You had a shipment of some of your products coming in. What did they seize, if you could share that, and what has been the outcome?
Everything in the shipment, but their main concern was anything that was representing the human anatomy. For example, a penis or a vagina. And they still maintain that they have maintained that anything resembling the human anatomy, which is the penis or the vagina, should be banned, should not come in. But other things can come in. So if it's a phallic object and it's not shaped like a penis, you can bring it in. If it's shaped like a penis, you cannot.
And what is the law on it? Is there a particular law banning that? Or
didn't you take it to court? And
yes,
the court...
There's no law, but custom has their own laws. That's why in customs, you as a custom officer can say yes, and another officer can say no. This is where the problem comes in. That's why we are back in court with the very same matter. They gave me eventually 3 years, some of which were all destroyed because you can no longer use it, and they eventually gave it back to me. But it doesn't satisfy the law.
So what did they tell you at the point when they seized this? These products.
They put on Article 4701 to tell you these goods are being held as prohibitive items, and you can come down and have a conversation with us. After the conversation, they'll say, okay, let's go to court. Either I say let's go to court, or they say let's go to court. They don't know. They don't really want to go to court, so I'll say let's go to court, and we'll go to court and win. I've won in court maybe about 3 to 5 times.
And what did the judge say in those cases to give the judgment in your favor?
That it's not illegal. But then again, the controller of customs will tell you that it's up to the officer, and they'll seize it under 4701 prohibitive item. Because all archaic laws are still in our books that you cannot have, for example, pornography is illegal in Trinidad, according to the law. Pornography is...
When you say pornography, physical, hard copy pornography, no pun intended, or digital access pornography?
Any type of pornography, they'll tell you that. Any type. Whether you're looking at it on a cell phone, whether you buy a book, you still cannot sell a Hustler magazine in the open in Trinidad, but everyone has it on their phone. Not that they make Hustler magazine anymore, but I'm just saying that.
Mm-hmm. That arbitrary interpretation of law is always very concerning to me.
I'm very concerned about it, but again, if I start doing it, they say, some people want to put labels on me. They'll want to say, oh, look, here you go again. It has to do with sex. That's why you're so interested. I am interested in that becoming a better place in everything that we do. That's
when we are the film censors board, who would decide whether a movie is dangerous to the population. Oh my God, a movie.
Yes, somebody kissing a person's nipple, it shouldn't be shown. That shouldn't be shown. Let's cut it. And you remember how movies used to come chopped up?
No, they can't, because you could turn a cable channel and see it every day. So put it on your phone.
But the problem is that those who are doing it, they get to see everything.
So did you get back all of your products? Or did you keep some for research?
That's again where they started to seize products again. That's happening over the last 6 months. I'll tell you this, Richard. What I did, I sent one shipment of the exact same products, and that was allowed. And second shipment of the exact same products was sent a month after, and that was seized. And I asked them, how come? They said, well, it's up to the discretion of the customs.
Officer. Yeah, which is an untenable situation.
Very
yeah. So,
but they get away because nobody.
We just need to ultimately, of course, we need to modernize our laws with regard to adult sexual behavior and adult accoutrement with regard to whatever sexual toys, etc. We need to modernize the law with regards to that.
The paraphernalia that people use, the novelty items.
I don't know why it's a taboo subject for Parliament, because there are adults in Parliament, so just deal with it. Say, look, it's illegal, and move on.
But the problem we have is that the person who brings it up will be labeled as either a sex fiend or a pervert or some sort of word.
In 2023 still?
Yeah. On you know that. I'm sure there are person who putting labels on me right now for having this discussion with you all.
And all of us. And all of us.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they ain't going crazy in the comments yet.
That little clip there, I sure I made more enemies than friends. They'll say, look at him. He anti-UNC. That's why he's talking about anti-Kamala saying so and so. But it's not. I'm asking a question.
Where is the data to support your claim? You can't be making claims without the data to support the connections that you're suggesting.
That's the, and that's what
that is what science is about, and research.
Yeah.
All right, Dr. Raj, thank you so much for being with us and clarifying.
Okay.
You know the front page don't have what you say there.
Paul, Richard, and Steve, thank you for having me. Thank you for listening.
Yeah,
thanks a lot.
All right.
You can join Dr. Raj on Friday afternoons from 4 right here on Power 102 Digital.
Take care, buddy.
All righty. All the best.
All the best.
Never a dull moment.
I haven't seen Raj in a long time.
Once you say sex in the air, oh my God. Ooh, they call crazy.
I was surprised Dina didn't
call. The country is more mature about issues like that now, and especially in Parliament. You would think that you would move up because you have access to it anyway, so that you should just liberalize the archaic laws with regard to issues like that and just liberalize it. And so, okay, there is a space for adult entertainment in the country. There's a
stress
space for
on the word adult.
Yeah, exactly. There's a space for that. And just be mature about it. I don't think
this country has a real morality police, a real morality police. Okay.
No, I really want to think that the vast majority of Trinidadians don't have an issue with modernizing those laws, but you always have a vocal minority that like to talk loud. Loudly.
Loud. and call down fire and brimstone and pick up the Bible and the Quran and the Bhagavad Gita for you. You know?
Yeah. Gentlemen, we have some calls.
Peril and perdition.
Good morning, caller.
Let's take the call, Steve.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Good morning.
Paul, I had a situation similar to that of Raj. When I re-entered the country a couple years ago, I brought back some wands because I do the suitcase trade. So I bring things that I think will be interested in and whatnot and whatnot. I brought back some wands.
What is a wand?
A wand it's shaped like a microphone. It's a vibrating device for clitoral stimulation.
Okay.
Right? There was a Muslim customs officer. I don't know. I say that because I don't know if her religion had a part to play with it. And she was.
How did you know she was Muslim?
She was in a hijab.
Okay, all right.
She confiscated my items, and I know she felt that because she's accustomed to people just saying, "Okay, what is even better about me that I will choose violence every day." So I escalated the matter to the CEO immediately. I said, "I'm not coming back with nothing. I want to see the CEO now." In my conversation with the CEO, everybody was titillating, butterflying all over the place when somebody asked to see the CEO. I don't know if they know me, but I saw them titillating, they were shishooing in the corner, and they were doing this and that and the other. I saw an audience with the CEO. I got an audience in a office. Strangely enough, when I entered the office, she had all my items there, and she returned them back to me immediately. And she explained just what Raj said to me. The law speaks of the device, how it looks. It cannot, if it appears offensive. So that means if it's in the shape of a penis and a customer is offended by it, he or she can seize it. If he or she is not offended, it could go either way.
If the officer is offended by the law?
That's the law.
And that's not tenable.
Wow.
You can't leave it up to
That is a law that somebody personally offended by it?
Yeah, because when you leave laws up to that kind of subjective judgment, you're going to run into problems.
You're getting human emotion attached to it, and that is where it really gets dangerous. You understand?
So everything that's shaped like a penis could be offensive to somebody? Okay.
Could be offensive to someone, yes? But Paul, you asked the question, you said something this morning, and I hope you understand now, because you always ask the question, why we are that show? And your explanation this morning, because I saw the program yesterday, and your explanation this morning is exactly why we torture ourselves with that show. Because you cannot allow erroneous comments from a senior police officer to go unchecked. And you have to watch this show to put a highlighted and to make
somebody put me in the chat, what is my problem with Alexander? And they should have, I should have no problem with what I saw there. Senior police officer.
And that is the problem. And that is the problem. Until it happens to you, until the excessive force happens to you, until the advantage happens to you, you will not understand what we are trying to circumvent right now. You understand? The people who are police fanatics and believe in like after God is police, they will not understand until something happens to them and there's no body camera when they are saying, no, this is not what happened. This is what happened, and there's no body camera for this to validate what you are saying. Right? And when you speak about something, you have a problem with the person. I don't have a problem with Alexander. Alexander, I find to be a cool guy. He's friendly, he's humorous, too childish for him, as a matter of fact. However, the things he utters is dangerous to the society. You understand? And that is why I continue to watch the program, to keep him in check. Right? But we have too much. We're a young country and we have a long way to go with these kind of frivolous laws.
I had to preserve my brain cells.
Thank you. Thank you.
You all have a great day. Be safe, whatever you do.
Yeah, take your time on the roads as well.
Yes, so Trinidad and Tobago, and of course our listeners, wherever you are across the planet, have a fantastic Thursday. The weekend begins tonight, people, at a second after midnight, and don't you forget it. And of course, remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health. It's a great distressor. It's a better distressor than porn. So have a great one.
All right. Thank you so much, Richie Rich. All the best here. Of course, before